so sorry for this fake love, fake love. Oh my gosh, I stayed up until 2 a.m. to watch BTS's new music video and it was so worth it. And it's a beautiful rainy day here in LA and it's just perfect. I've been listening to the album and just like the whole rainy aesthetic and the Tear album. It just goes so perfectly together. This could not be a more perfect day for the new album to come out. Alright, so I'm a little bit hyped about BTS, but that's not why we're here today. Hey there, Not So Shocking Taylor here, and you have probably seen at least one freelancer in your life. So congratulations! You've decided to support your local artist / business person! Where do you start though? I myself am a freelancer. I do have a normal job on top of freelancing, and freelancing is just kind of a way that I can do what I really want to do, building up to my dream career while making rent money, I guess. So I feel like I can give you a little bit of a crash course on the whole thing that goes down, the whole process of hiring a freelancer and what the process of getting your product is and any questions that you might have. So first of all, where do I find this person? How do I find my local artist that I want to support? Somebody who makes a product, sells it online. Where can I find them? Well, there's a lot of different ways, the internet being the best. You can go around and ask your friends, like, hey, do you know anybody who does this? Word of mouth really helps. So first you can ask your friends, kind of like see within your mutual friend group, who can you find? If not, you should go online and you can most often find somebody through the internet. I think there's definitely websites out there that cater to this, so Etsy's a really big platform. I myself use Instagram. I really like putting my work out there on my Instagram. And then sometimes I get people DMing me like, hey, I would like something custom, or I really want this or that. And depending on my schedule, I'll see if I can do it. Now, what are you asking for? That is definitely the first question we're going to have, because that gives us a general time frame of like how long it's going to take. It might tell us like how much we might charge. That's always going to be the first question, is what are you looking for from us? We just want to know what you're expecting. So have a very good idea with as many details as possible what you're expecting from us, and we can tell you what we can do. If you're asking for a commission from an artist, you should be already familiar with their work, because you can't ask somebody to do like realism when all they do is cartoons or animation. They're gonna give you kind of a weird look, or just be like, hey, I think I'm not the person you're looking for. So just be familiar with the person's work before you ask something from them. Now the next question that people usually ask is, well, what is it gonna cost me? Freelancers usually do cost a little bit more than just anything bought from a company, because we are just one person. And depending on the person's financial situation, they might charge more or less. If it's more just a hobby, you're going to get maybe a better deal, because it's just going to be some extra spending cash to them. But for somebody who relies on their freelancing as their major income source, they are going to charge maybe some extra fees, such as restocking their supplies, or maybe for the materials that it's going to take to make it. It really just depends on what you're asking for, who you're working with. Everything about freelancing is situational. For someone like me who makes costumes or clothing, I usually take a down payment for the materials first, and I just want to make sure that you're really serious about it, because I don't want to start working on something and then have somebody say, oh, never mind, it's getting too expensive, we're gonna cut it. Well, now I've done all this work and it's really for nothing. I personally like to see a project from beginning to end. Some people have a flat rate, some people have work by the hour. I work by the hour because everything that I've made so far has been very different, and there's no set time that something can be made in, because it depends on what you're making, really. A lot of artists do have flat rates, like, oh, I'll do a print for this much, because maybe they sell those prints for that much. Again, it depends. So make sure to communicate with the freelancer. So now you're excited, you're thinking, okay, yeah, I've got the money to pay someone a little bit extra, and I know what I'm looking for. When should I ask them? It depends again. That's gonna be like my number one answer to any question that you're gonna have is, it depends. If it's something like costumes, like what I make, I do get a higher volume of requests around Halloween time, or I work with a lot of drag performers, so if there's a really big competition or like DragCon coming up, I get a higher volume of requests because people want those special custom outfits for those events. If it's like just a piece of artwork, maybe you're getting it for a birthday or for the holidays in December, whatever it may be, just pay attention to when your deadline is, and depending on what you're asking for, make sure you have a realistic deadline. I always tell my potential clients they need to give me at least 2 weeks just for the construction period, and that's not including measurements, planning, fabric shopping. I just need 2 weeks depending on what I'm making you. If it's something a little bit easier, I'll give you a little bit of a pass and say like, oh yeah, I can do that in a week. But if you're asking for some big showgirl costume, you better give me like a month, because that takes a long time. So that should be one of the first questions you ask the freelancers when you pitch your idea. You should say, how long do you think you'll need for this? And don't be surprised if they do ask for like 2 or 3 weeks to make something, because we don't have people helping us most likely. It's just gonna be us. So we're doing all the work and we're putting in all those hours, sometimes all-nighters, to get the work done. Wow, this sounds like so complicated. Why can't I just go to the store and buy it? Why should you hire a freelancer, right? I mean, there's so many great stores that cater to so many different things nowadays. Like, you can get anything off Amazon. Well, as a freelancer, I have to say I really like my work because it's personal. It's really custom for the client. We spend that time with the person to really make sure that they get exactly what they want. And that's something mass-produced in a factory just can't get you. You're gonna get something you like, but is it something that's really personal to you? So definitely, if you've got the extra money, you've got the extra time, just go out there and look for somebody to get you something custom and really personal to you. There's a lot of great people out there who are making amazing things, and they really need customers like you. So please, please spread the word. Just try your best to support a small business person or freelancer. Well, thank you for listening to this hopefully helpful introduction to freelancers. It was kind of a crash course on it. So if you have any specific questions that you still have that were not answered in this video, please comment down below and I'll try my best to get to you and answer it. But I'm gonna tell you the answer is probably gonna be it depends. So I will try my best to answer your questions though. So far, the next event that I'm planning is I'm gonna go see Monster X in August, and I'm really excited, so I'm definitely planning on vlogging that. I'm going with the same friend that I went to Shiny with, and I think we're gonna have a really good time. If you want to see what I'm up to though, you can check me out on Twitter, Tumblr, and see my work on Instagram. You can see all my freelancing stuff, and I just finished school, so you're mostly going to see school stuff. But you'll see my freelancing stuff, and if you ever want anything from me, if you want a costume, please direct message me on Instagram or comment on something I've made. Just be like, hey, I'd like to work with you, and you might get a message back from me. I'll be like, hey, yeah, definitely. I haven't really figured out like shipping and other stuff like that, so right now I'm kind of more likely going to take requests from people in LA. Maybe one day I will expand to the rest of the country in America. We will see as I grow my business. So I'll stop rambling for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! I bet my neighbors can hear me. They're like, what is this crazy person doing, talking to herself? We have really thin walls here.